very good evening to you. My name is Carol Commander and welcome to Try Time, where as usual we talk about rugby and more rugby. Remember that you can join in on our conversation via our social media handles that will appear at the bottom of your screen. Now I have my panel over here that I think they should be the ones who are welcoming me
Welcome,
this
Carol.
week.
Welcome back, Carol.
Yeah?
From your illness, Paul.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't miss me too much.
Well, Eli tried to do his best, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, obviously,
Too much testosterone.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
There was no balance. The balance
We
was
tried
not.
our best.
let's just say we're happy to have you back.
All right.
No shots,
Thank you.
Eli, no shots.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll start with the Kenya Cup, which, I mean, the regular season came to a close last weekend. We had some exciting games, some very important games. Impala Kabras. Kabras beat Impala. It was a very ish-ish game for Kabras. I mean, they didn't really win the way they thought they would.
Yes, it is getting to the time where you're not going to go 40 points ahead.
Yeah.
And this is the business end of the league. And Impala came to play for sure.
Yeah.
And there was a danger of them, of course, losing by a big margin. Them losing basically, and then losing by a big margin was going to be detrimental. But again, they came to the party, played well. Unfortunately, they slipped up, made a few mistakes that cost them the game. But I think it was a pretty enjoyable game to watch,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Yeah.
I think based on a selection point, both teams had players away, of course, taking part in either the Hong Kong Sevens or the
Yes.
Hong Kong Tens. I know Samson Onsomo and Oliech were away for Impala, Dan Sikut and Wakarach away for Cabras.
Yeah.
So we saw Eden, not Eden, but Keegan slotting it at number 10 for Cabras.
Yeah.
I think he had a relatively quiet game. Based on how I know Eden and how lethal he is.
Keegan.
Yeah, Keegan, sorry. I
Keegan.
It's
confused,
different to tell them apart.
yeah, I
actually,
confused the two.
Because they
and-
played for quite a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also from my former high school. So
yeah.
So
anyway,
you had to throw that in.
yeah,
somewhere.
obviously, you know, brilliance was born in
Was
Western.
born.
Anyway, Keegan seemed a bit off. Maybe it's because he's not played at number 10 throughout the season. He's been thrown all over, thrown to the wing, thrown at fullback. So I mean, on the day it was a bit scrappy from Cabras. And it's sad that it was the business end of the season.
Yeah.
But I think for Impala, they knew what was at stake. I also noticed that for them, due to the changes, they played Keeping a Teach at number 9, which is his natural position. Then they brought in Kwemoy at number 10. That partnership worked well. Impala, it was much tighter in the first half. They did their basics very well, capitalizing on Cabras slip-ups.
Yeah.
They also had an opportunistic try with a kick and chase.
Chase,
But I think at the end of the day, Cabras just relied on their experience and ground it out in the second half.
Yeah.
And I mean, for Impala, they're lucky that they snuck into that 6th position.
Yeah.
Because for this particular game, I don't think they got anything in terms of points. They didn't score 4 tries, and they didn't finish within 7.
And they were relying on their other results as well.
Exactly,
Yes,
yes.
theirs was reliant on a lot more on the other results as opposed
Yeah.
to their own doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
but of course, winning that game would have given them the advantage.
Yes.
Of
Now
course,
that they
yeah.
lost, then they had to rely on the others heavily.
Yeah, let's have a listen to what both coaches had to say after this game.
Got the 5-pointers and now we wait for get our calculators out. And yes, we actually had the game. We had them in our hold, but we had a lot of unforced errors, too many penalties. Cabras got into a half through our own mistakes, and at this level, you pay penalized for that sort of arrangement. Yeah. Key thing is discipline. We are too indisciplined today. Yellow card, a lot of penalties. You can't play the game in that fashion.
That was a hard game. I think Impala played well. We knew they were going to come out. It's the last league game, and everybody's playing for playoff spot. We are playing to host the semi-final in Kakamega, and hopefully we can host the final also in Kakamega. But yeah, I think the boys really played well, much better in the second half, and we stick to our play. Yeah, it was a lot of pressure. I think there was a few stuff in the first half that didn't go our way, and but second half we had a conversation in the halftime and saying we just have to capitalize on what if we in their half, and we just to keep the ball because we are playing now against the wind, and we need to score tries because we are a team that wants to score tries, and we're not playing for penalties every time. Yeah, it was for us. It's up and down. We started slow, and then we before the Christmas break, we everything went well, and then after the Christmas break was just getting back to our work, and then I think the KCB game was the game that everybody worked towards. It didn't go our way in that game, and then we had to rebuild again from there. But for us, it went well. I think our first aim was to end in the top two, and for us now, top of the log. Well done, and I think we're seeing. We would like to take the people to Kakamega and hope to see you there.
Cabra's coach mentioning that their aim was finishing in the top 2 this season, but they're at the top. How big is this for them? The first time they're at the top.
Yeah, they must have learned from before that being at the top is not a guarantee. The first time they won the Kenya Cup, they came in as 6th in the last game of the season. So it's no guarantee sitting at the top that you're going to win. However, they've done well for themselves, and I think kudos to them for the regular season to be at the place they are in. Because then, of course, they have a home semi-final.
Yeah, exactly. That is what they all want. Home semi-final and hopefully a home final.
Yeah, it's easy to say.
Yeah, it's easy to. It's nice to say.
It's easy and very nice to say.
Just to pick up on what Coach Du Plessis has said, one thing he's mentioned is they did not score tries when they wanted to score. I mean, he talked about them having to settle for points. But one thing he should be alive to the fact that in the later stages of the season, going into the semi-finals or indeed the finals, you'll find a much tougher opposition. So if you can get the 3 points, that's well and good.
Yeah.
Don't concentrate too much on the 5 or the 7-pointer if you can get the 3 points.
Yeah.
Now,
Especially, just to point out one player who I think has been outstanding for Cabras. It's called Ephraim. I think Ephraim Momolo. He plays at prop number 1. He's one of those players who just does his business.
Yeah.
You will not see him doing flashy stuff, but he's actually a very good ball carrier, and he's a solid defender. And he was part of Coach Bling's side that when he was coaching the schools. So he's a player who's risen to the ranks. I remember he was quite instrumental for Cabras last season, even though he came into the final as a substitute, but this season he's been starting all the games.
Yeah.
So for them, it's a welcome addition. Now for Impala, Coach Ndong talked about their penalties. They got a yellow card. Discipline. At this stage of the season, we've seen how referees are reffing these games. Anything above the shoulder, they're giving a yellow card. There's no much two ways about it. So it's upon the players and indeed the coaching staff just to go back to the basics of tackling, because if you get pinned this late in the season, it could be detrimental towards you achieving your targets. Because playing less men, it's always a disadvantage.
Yeah, definitely. Mwamba were beaten by Menengai Oilers in Nakuru. They still made it to the playoff
yes, it was always going to be tough out in Nakuru. And the Oilers, as I've said, anybody who laughed at Harlequins when the season started, now they know.
Now they know.
Yeah.
Now they know.
This is a team that was going to grow in stature as time went by. And this is the only team for me that has improved every game they played this season. And kudos to Gibu and his boys. They've done very well. It was always going to be tough, and we said it, for Mama to travel down there and come out to the win. And again, I think for Oilers, it's a good morale booster, given that they're only new entrants to the Kenya Cup, and they're able to secure the position they did. That was very commendable.
Yeah.
Two things I'd like to say. One thing, the first one is, what helped Mwamba secure that slot is the big wins that they had throughout the regular season.
Exactly.
The big win you had against Mean Machine, and also the big win you had against Homeboys. So that's the point difference, and indeed on the day we scored 4 tries, thanks to a hat-trick by Billy Odhiambo. Now for the Oilers, if you look at their last 4 games, they drew with Harlequins, they beat Nondis, they beat Homeboys, they've beaten Mwamba.
Yeah.
These are not easy sides. And this is their first season in the Kenya Cup.
Yeah.
Next season...
It's a big statement from them.
Exactly. And you see the beauty of the Oilers is they're a team that I suspect will stay like that for at least one more season. One more season, if not 2. And if you look at the team, the Nakuru team, which won back-to-back Kenya Cups, they maintained the nucleus of the team for 2 seasons. So if Coach Gibu is able to put these boys together for
As they
another
are.
season, I think they'll be
Contenders.
in playoffs
Yes.
next season. That's what I'm thinking. They've actually done extremely well.
Yeah.
Because you know what tends to happen is teams, when you come into the Kenya Cup, you sort of get to fade away towards
Yes.
the second legs.
Yeah.
But
But
contrary
they've
to that,
climbed.
they've climbed. The second
Yes.
leg, they started off slow, but the second leg they've picked.
Yeah.
And that win against Mwamba was a stake in the sand, telling everyone who doubted them that we are here to stay. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So congrats to Coach Gibu.
Yes, and I said it beginning of the season. As Lavin says, these guys are clearly contenders in the next season. There's no question about whether they will or not.
Yeah.
It is just how far they go
Yes.
after the playoffs next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
However, this is a good side. They've got a good coach and they've got good ethos, and they'll definitely be contenders in the coming
It's a
season.
side to be feared.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strathmore are relegated.
A pity that
Yeah.
was. I saw Lavin with some memes on Twitter.
yeah. I mean, the banter is
Yes,
endless,
yes.
but
No, it was bound to happen. They've,
Yeah.
they've had a really awful season, and there was nothing to save them from relegation. Maybe getting down there and reorganizing themselves and seeing what they need to do.
yeah.
Retaining players, of course, which is a major issue, and then being able to dust themselves off and pick themselves for the coming season.
But is there a way they can actually retain players?
There are college, so
Yeah,
most
the-
of them are
Because
college students.
Most of them are college students, and what they've done so far to sort of lure players is, I mean, they have packages where they offer scholarships for players.
Yes.
But now the other thing about that particular offer is, are players disciplined enough to go through with their studies? Because you see,
Exactly.
it's a university, it's an investment.
Yeah.
If you don't meet your sort of your scores and you don't keep up to the terms of the scholarship, it's withdrawn, it's taken away. But for Coach Johnny, the moment he started losing games against Mean Machine and I mean, to a small extent, Black Blood, that's when I knew it was going to be a big challenge for him.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, they've been relegated. I'm yet to see what the dynamics will come into play if he'll stay with the team. But I sure hope that he stays with the team, because I believe his mind is good enough just to bring them back up into the Kenya Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's really bad. They've been in the Kenya Cup for 9 years.
Oh, is it 11?
11 years.
11 years, yeah.
It's been 11.
years. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I remember trying to prepare them to get the Kenya Cup. That was 2006.
Ooh, that
Yes.
says.
Says what?
He's a
Anyway,
seasoned coach.
yeah. It says he was a good coach. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a long time for them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a pity. But again, you can rebuild from where they are.
Yeah.
Beauty about this is if you can retain the players and go through the season and work your way back up, when you get up, you're definitely going to be stronger.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Nondis were disappointed by Harlequins. It was a very tight result in the end.
Very tight affair. You know, when I was watching this game, one thing I noted is Queens. I think Queens did their homework in terms of the pick and drive for Nondis, because it was very tight in the first half. I
Yeah.
mean, Nondis, granted to them, they had a bit of territorial advantage, but when they resulted to the usual pick and drive that has given them wins during the regular season, Queens countered that very easily. So in terms of homework, that's tick. They did their homework. Now for them to dominate and score a pushover try with the scrum means the Queen's scrum was dominant
Yes.
against Nondis. Nondis, like we've mentioned throughout the season, they've relied heavily on their go forward from their forwards.
Yeah.
So once that threat was negated, it was always going to be a tough afternoon for them. I mean, they did well to keep the scores minimal, but I think at the end of the day, Coach Foxy will be very disappointed that despite their good start and also ending KCB's unbeaten run, I think at one point they were third. It has come to this,
Yeah.
which begs the importance of getting those bonus point wins and getting that win margin, because it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just being very consistent in what to do. Yes, they got over teams with the pick and drive game, and it was very obvious that is what they're going to revert to. Give
That was
them-
the plan
yes.
for them.
If
yeah.
you pressure them a lot, that's the default setting. If you worked on defending the default setting, just pressure them. They'll go back in the default setting
Yeah.
and defend the default setting until they can't do it anymore. What happens is that they're worn out and they can't run anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now the challenge with that, like Ben just said, is if you don't have a another alternative. Because
Plan B.
Plan B. Because
Yeah.
you see, Nondis tried moving the ball through the backs. It wasn't working. They're not hitting the gain line. They're not getting good forward balls. Balls are not going to hand. So they had no other alternative.
Yeah.
So their main strength was negated by Queens. And I think on the day, Queens did very well for themselves, despite having having assured themselves of that third position. That win was still important to them,
Yeah.
because it gives them a momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and this was a very important must-win game for Nondis.
No,
Yeah.
it was. My heart goes out to Foxy. He's done very well with the team, and
Yes,
Aoka for preparing the team very well as
Yeah.
a management.
Indeed.
But sometimes it just those small mistakes that happen during the season. When it was time to work a little harder, they were celebrating about stopping KCB. KCB's unbeaten
You
run.
really have a problem with premature
Celebration.
celebration.
This will happen.
from
It's
teams.
a league. It's a league.
It's
It's
a
a
league.
league.
Yeah, you see, it's very easy to lose the focus in the horizon if you start doing such things. And for the younger players, for the mature ones, yes, they know how to reset.
Yeah.
But maybe if the aim was to stop KCB from the unbeaten run, if it was as important as getting points, getting to the playoffs,
Yeah.
then well and good. But again, it shows that you need to keep that focus through and through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to what both coaches had to say after this game.
Yeah, as they say, almost doesn't count. Hard luck again. A few questionable calls, but what to do? There are very many positives out of this game. I think external factors are what put us where we are now. So we'll just keep doing what has been working for us.
Only thing I can say that we take from that game is that we take the win. Otherwise, very, very scrappy performance. We could hardly keep the ball. It was a really scrappy game, and not one that was enjoyable. Like I told you earlier, I was hoping for a game where at least even the fans could enjoy. But a very scrappy game, a lot of mistakes, and we just need to go back to the drawing board and sort it out. Of course there is, you don't want to lose, and Nondis now knew that they needed to win because other results, other places had gone their way, especially with Mwamba losing to Oilers. So they knew they needed to win so that they can get into the playoffs. So it was tough, and we needed to put all our bodies on the line till the end. So of course very stressful moments like every time when we are coaching, and especially that one. But we'll take the W, back to the drawing board now as we prepare for the playoffs.
Coach Charles there stressing that it was a win, but not a very enjoyable win.
He was unhappy because our international wingers didn't do anything.
Yeah. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, one of them dropped all the balls that he could catch and
Yeah.
score.
Yeah.
Frankie really was out of his depth on the day, and to me, there's a lot of good things that happened in the game, other than
Yeah.
Frankie not catching the ball and really not playing
Yeah.
at all.
And the win, of course.
Yes, and of course the coach was very livid with some of the calls the ref made. But I think there was quite a few things that happened that went well for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the ref, do you feel like there's a problem with the officiating in general?
I think they're just not sharp enough.
Yeah.
And we must devise a way of them to practice. And they need to go to clubs. There's a time refs were coming into clubs during the week when we were having our practice games and telling us what they'll look over they'll have a look over the weekend and train and get to know how players play.
Yeah.
Because now they stayed through the week and just appear at the game. No practice whatsoever, nothing. And there's this tussle between management of teams and players against referees, and every weekend is this referee did this bad,
Yeah.
and the call was not consistent here and there. It's costing us big time,
Yeah.
and it's very frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, the refs, I mean, they've been inconsistent in different games, and going this late into the season, it's very crucial.
Yeah.
If you lose a game, lose because you aren't prepared, not because of a call that
Exactly.
didn't go your way.
Yeah.
But I think on the positive, I saw a memo I don't know, it was circulated to club chairman last week, where the Referees Association, they've actually called for consultations with the club management, coaches, former players, and just like minds
Yeah.
to try and chart ways in which they can better themselves. So I think to that front, at least they are open to listen to what people are saying.
Yeah.
Now, whether this will be taken up in good time, because I mean, playoffs ziko hapa and
Yeah,
the finals
yeah.
is just around the corner.
Yeah.
But like you've said, I think the reffing, it can be better. I know there's 1 or 2 refs who've been spot on, but if
Yeah.
it needs to be across the board, because
Yeah.
so that you get
Should
the
be
same quality,
consistent.
yes, same
Yeah,
quality.
should
And
be
you see,
consistent.
it gets more worrying
Yeah.
when you play outside of town.
Out,
Yes.
out of town.
Out
When
of town. When
Uh-huh.
you play in Nakuru, when you play in Kakamega, when you,
Oh,
I mean,
when the quality refs, they're picked from the village.
exactly, because
Yeah.
no, it's true, because I remember last season when Mwamba played against Kisii, the only game Kisii won last season was against Mwamba.
And
And
Homeboys also almost lost.
Yes,
because
almost
of the
lost,
same-
because the referee.
Yes.
I don't know if he's a recognized referee by
Yeah,
the Referees
yeah.
Association, but there was dubious calls, and you see, it kills your spirit as a
Yeah.
player, because even as a coach, because you've prepared your boys for so long, and then for calls to come, and some of them come out and say, "Oh, we are sorry, we apologize." But if you lose, your apology
game is
means
done.
nothing. The game is
nothing,
done.
yeah.
The game is done. But I think on the positive, they've reached out. They're reaching out to people to help them and also to exchange ideas on how to better manage the game.
For me, I think it's just for them to go into clubs and watch this, not just watch it, but referee the practice games that
Yeah.
clubs are having.
Yes.
So spread them across all the clubs that are playing, that are training. Let them have a run, because it's what if the clubs went to sleep during the week and turned up at the game on
Yeah.
Saturday? Then
Yeah.
the quality will be poor. It goes without saying that this is something that is so repetitive. The more you do it, the better you become at it.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you can't practice it, you won't be good at the match on the match
Yeah.
day.
And it-
The most unfortunate thing is that some of them will take it very personally when you talk to them.
when you tell them that
Yes, yes.
this was a wrong call.
Yeah, I have nothing to gain by bringing down a referee.
Yeah.
I'm just giving my little knowledge.
Yeah.
But the referee feels at that point that you're looking down
They
upon
feel
him.
attacked.
Yes, yes, and that's wrong. You see.
Yeah.
But my advice to players, leave the dealing with the referees to us guys,
Yes.
to guys on the outside. Because
Okay.
on the day on the pitch, you can't talk to the referee and play at the same time. One has to suffer.
Even the
So just-
captains.
Yeah, just concentrate
No,
on
the
the game.
captains are
Captains
allowed
Yeah,
to.
talk to,
Yeah.
leave that to the captain.
But do
Yeah.
it with a lot of discipline also.
Exactly,
Don't,
yeah.
don't just go yelling at the referee.
because
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, the referee is also human.
Human.
Yeah.
So if you yell at him from a distance, I
Other
mean,
than him carding you several
exactly,
times,
yeah,
he can say this match will go this way, and
Exactly,
that is
yeah.
what will happen.
And
because
that's
nothing can
final.
yeah,
Yes.
just be respectful, because
Yeah.
that's expected of you as a captain.
do- Yeah.
Okay, KCB beat Homeboys 10-3. Expected, but
A little worrying about the momentum.
yeah,
They really reduced the momentum.
yeah,
I don't know whether they want to pick it up as a surprise to surprise all of us, but
yeah.
after playing Harlequins, and
You
it
feel like
wasn't. Yes, I feel like there's an energy that is evaporated from them.
Yeah,
But again, we expected that at this time of the season, the clubs are much more, the games are a bit more tighter.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the case
Yeah.
with the Homeboys game, because Homeboys have also picked up from the mishaps they had earlier.
yeah, yeah.
But be sure that after this scoreline, Coach Curtis had something to say about it.
Definitely.
Because he's a
Yeah.
perfectionist, so
Yeah.
this scoreline for him is
Is a no-
unacceptable.
yes.
It's a win, yes, but you see
But
for
it's
him,
not-
he looks at the bigger
Yeah,
picture. That's
yeah.
in the semi-finals. But I think on the day they've done enough to get them second.
Yes.
So I mean, unfortunately for Homeboys, they've had one of the worst seasons, I think,
Ever.
in the
Yeah,
recent past.
definitely. Yeah.
So much expected of them, but they've failed to deliver. They really need to look at.
They need to regroup.
They need to
and-
regroup
yeah.
very soon, because you see they're the defending champions of the Enterprise
Yeah,
Cup,
yeah.
and that
And
even
they were
they're not-
knocked off.
They were knocked out.
Yeah.
So their season basically is over.
Yeah,
They're waiting for the sevens.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Top Fry, Mean Machine were relegated.
Yes, expected.
Yeah.
So the workshop is closed.
Yeah.
Their chairman threatened us that
Yeah.
this season it was going to be fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
So we saw the
I guess
fire.
the fire gutted down the
The fire
workshop.
got it down the workshop, and now they have to sell the tools.
Yeah.
One thing I like to, one thing I like to tell Mean Machine is,
Yeah.
I know you have a very vibrant fan base, but kindly allow the coach and management to do their job.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because you see, I've played in a game where that time with the former coach,
Yeah.
the coach makes the call, but then the fans shout. and the players do what the fans are telling them to do. So
You know what the coach...
you go away from the game plan totally.
Yeah,
and
because
you
of
do
the fans.
Euphoria. This is comrade
Yeah,
mentality. It's
yeah.
only good to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But
It's only good when you're fighting riot police. And coming to,
But no, when you're trying to win a
if you come
game.
into a football field,
Yeah.
you better do what the referees say.
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
sad for them because they were relegated, they've come back and now they've been relegated
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
So
really
that
sad.
inconsistency as well, I mean, it's not good for them. Because Mean Machine is one of the oldest clubs. And most players who've played for these other teams, if you look at the origin, they've come
passed.
from Mean Machine. Yeah, Mean Machine is like,
It's a conveyor belt for players.
exactly, yeah.
And they produce extremely good players.
Very good players.
Yeah, so for them being relegated, actually, so some of us feel very ashamed.
The only,
Ashamed.
the only positive is Shadon Munoko is standing up for Shuja. their
This is a
captain.
good thing.
Yeah, he's
It's-
doing
it's
well,
a,
yeah.
It's a new find,
Yes.
and hopefully that will follow many
Yeah.
things. I
Yes.
think he's a good player, and he's been a good leader, actually.
Yes, yes.
Because whenever he played, he's lifted the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After his departure, it's been lousy.
Yeah, and you're right about the fans because the previous weekend, the fans were so vocal about how they will thrash Top Fry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
They were very vocal.
I've said it before the season started. Just before the season started. Don't have a new set of kit and think that is what plays the football game. Or you're going to see us. We
Yeah.
are a tough lot.
Yeah.
Tough lot. There are some of us who are so tough and we don't even talk because of being tough.
Yeah.
So everybody else has been going to work. You are at the workshop thinking that you're going to be
Yeah.
sharpening Nini.
And that's what I'm saying for players, let the fans do their job, but don't get drawn into it. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they have a good fan
Let
base.
everyone do
And
their
that-
job.
Yes,
Let
that's
the fans
good.
do their
That's
job.
good for morale.
Yeah.
Yes.
But don't get drawn into it.
Don't get
Yeah.
drawn into it.
You
yeah.
separate your rugby playing with your comradeship. You separate the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course this is good for Top Fry.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Because
they've been
then
out
they-
of the playoffs, I think the last
That's 3 years.
2-3 seasons.
3 seasons.
So I
yes.
think for them, it's very good. It's very good that they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be very interesting seeing how this playoffs pan out.
Yeah.
The
Exciting.
pairings are going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And for me, I really fear for both KCB and Cabras because these ties, this quarterfinal ties, are going to be fire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're going to panel beat whoever
And
it
it
is that
won't
goes
be
through.
easy for them.
Yeah,
Whoever
whoever
goes
goes
through
through
will
is going to
be-
be well panel beaten.
Yes.
That when they get the semis, it will be a lot of fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really fear for them, but hopefully, with a guy like Curtis goes to.
Curtis knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he goes
Come
to
on.
work. He goes to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Duplessis is the guy I'm not very sure, but Curtis, I'm sure he'll go to work on this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we will be talking about the Kenya Sevens and our Bathurst champions. Welcome back. You're with us watching Try Time, and thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's move on to the Kenya Sevens. They went to Hong Kong, and you guys gave your predictions. I watched, I saw, and were you surprised with these results?
No. It wasn't surprising at all. In fact, I was pretty chuffed that we beat Canada.
Yeah.
People who didn't need to lose to was Japan.
Yeah, Japan, we lost
Yeah,
it.
we needn't have lost to them because
Yeah.
they're the guys we are
In a scruff.
we are fighting with
Yeah.
to be relegated.
And after beating Canada, I mean, that was, it was a bit of
Actually,
a...
I expected us to do far better with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty happy with the score, the Australia score,
Mm-hmm.
because we looked like we wanted to really play. When we got up and played Canada, I was very sure we were going to beat Japan, but that didn't happen. So we live to fight another day.
Yeah.
I just feel that maybe we expect too much from the boys who had laid off for a little bit coming back. There's got to be a bit of time. Of course, Jeff led from the front.
Yeah.
He made top impact player of that leg. So very positive from the captain. We are definitely going to do much better come Singapore. It's still a pretty tough pool
Yeah.
that we are in, but I still think that we've got the chance to
There's a
win
glimmer
that.
of hope.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And not just because the boys have come back, but because the whole team now know what is at stake.
Yeah.
I think for day one, we called it last week. We said it will be very difficult because Fiji are on their sentences. I mean, New Zealand is New Zealand.
Yeah.
And Australia is a team with very good structures.
Yeah.
So they can really study your game and tear you apart. So, I mean, for the boys who joined the team, you could tell that they still needed to get the 15th jitters off them and are now dive into 7. So next week definitely will be a much better performance, I think. But the Japan loss was one that it was like a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
Because
Especially after beating Canada.
yes,
I mean,
especially after beating Canada.
Yeah.
And you see, right now, I think for the boys,
Yeah.
for Kenya Sevens, we are like that jealous friend who celebrates when you fail.
Yeah.
Because of where we are celebrating every failure by Japan or Wales.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this stage of the season, we're in a bad place. But I think one thing that I'd like to see improve with the team going forward is I think I want to see a bit more structure in their attack.
The attack, yes.
Because as it stands, how the team is playing is, I give you the ball, you
do
run,
your best.
you do your best.
Yeah.
Then you give
If you
me.
are stopped, then give me.
Give me. Me, I do my best. If I'm stopped, I give
give
the
the
other
next
person.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see, the thing is, in as much as Jeff was led in the performance tracker, what teams do is they review your film and they know next time in the next tournament,
If we
they
take
know
out Jeff,
if you take out Jeff, they have no one else.
Yeah.
So they target your big ball players. And you see, if you're playing in a team, they have to target 7 people. There's no one individual they can target.
Yeah.
But I think for Singapore, I mean, we're still in a bad place, but I feel Singapore, my target still remains. At worst, that challenge trophy, we have to go with.
Now, we'll be playing England first
Yes.
at 5:44 a.m. and then USA and then Wales.
yes. And for me, Wales must be
Yes,
claimed.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
The USA, I don't know whether they've gotten complacent with time. They didn't look very sharp on day 2. For me, I think day 2 in Hong Kong, they're a bit slackened. But they're still a team that we can claim the scalp. England is a very structured team,
Yeah.
so it will take another exemplary performance for us to beat them. But here we'll definitely claim the Welsh scalp, which will be good for us.
And
And
USA, maybe not.
Yes, maybe not. And it depends on how the boys come out on the day to
Yeah.
want to put their bodies on the line. But you say the guys you beat with structure.
Yeah.
You can't beat them, or rather the way we were trying to do. That one person goes, if it doesn't finish, another person gives it a go. That one they'll take the ball away from us if we attack individually. But if we structure it and make everybody work across the park, we've got a good chance there.
The 2 teams who play in the first 2 games, that's England and US. The thing that they will do, definitely, they'll target the kickoff, the
Yeah.
set piece, and they'll also target the contact area because England, they're a very physical side, and the US, at least in the forwards, they're also very physical. So the game plan for the US, what they normally do, they have a very good kicker who can kick off both feet. So they kick either to the left or to the right, depending on how you've arranged your
jumpers.
jumpers. Then they attack that. Once they get the ball, they're very patient. they string the passes until they give Cardinals a run-in. That's why he's currently top try scorer.
Yeah.
So for the US and for England, we really need to sort out our kickoffs, because if we don't catch the kickoff, that's where our problem starts. Because once they retrieve the kickoff, they're very good. They have very good basics in terms of passing. And once you're worked too hard on defense, when you get the ball on attack, you won't be able to run.
Yes.
But I think Wales on the day, Wales played really well in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think Wales are a team that we
can
have a good go at. Because they're also one of the teams that we're in that bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
So that win, we have to get the win against Wales.
Yeah.
We do what we can against England. The US, they're not looking sharp in Hong Kong, but Coach Mike Friday will be also alive to that fact. So they'll really work hard this week. But that Wales game,
That's a must win.
yes,
For us, I think if we can keep the ball just a little longer,
Yeah.
just a little longer.
if we can keep the ball just a little longer, get those set pieces done, those racks must be cleared, and the ball out to the fly half. Flav must be able to play with his midfielders. If we do that and do that consistently, we should be able to have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Because right now we're losing it willy-nilly. We're dropping it, and we're not very solid in our set piece.
One thing
Once
I'd
we can get
like,
that
one thing I'd like to see is Jeff just be a bit smart in terms of how he carries the ball. You don't have to carry the ball throughout.
throughout, yes.
First ball, take it to Oyo on the wing, let him try his man. Second ball, carry it. Third ball, bring him on the late cut. Just mix it up a bit. Keep the defense guessing.
Yeah.
But if you play it one route, they will target
They'll
two men
catch you
against
out.
you,
Yeah.
and they will
But
turn
I'm
over
also
that ball.
thinking
Yeah.
Oyo is staying at the wing too long.
Yeah.
He
Look
should,
for work.
he should look for work. He should come to the midfield. If the ball isn't coming, come to the midfield. And that's what made somebody like Collins a spectacular player. If the ball didn't come to the wing, he came to the middle, looked for a gap, and bust through it.
Yeah.
Because staying at the wing, sometimes we don't have the luxury of getting the ball to the wing because of the way we're playing. So if you're at the wing, you'll grow cold there, having not helped the team at all.
And the one
Yeah.
ball you pass to, you will drop it
You'll drop
because
it.
your
Yeah.
fingers are numb.
Numb.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you haven't been playing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The Kenya under-20 squad made everyone happy over the
best.
weekend.
Yes.
Made everyone. I
We
wish
spoke about it last week. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah, these kids are very brilliant lot, and the
Yeah.
coaches are even better.
Yes.
Yeah, in Paul Odera and Mike Ong, super guys with they're teachers, so they know how to take care of these young lads.
Yeah.
And some of them have gone through their hands even in their teaching the teaching career. So they're very good with these kids. They know how to.
I mean, we're calling them kids, but they're huge. They're massive.
Yes, kids.
You look at them and they're
Kids, we're talking
they're
about
massive.
age mainly.
yeah.
But for us, it's a good thing. Kenya
Yeah.
has not been able to produce this big lads
Yes.
before.
Exactly.
We've never had young guys who are big,
Yeah.
generally big.
Yeah.
This is a squad that has surprised us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty chuffed about the captain of the under-20s, who's a queen, and he's a brilliant player. I'm very happy that he's a brilliant leader as well.
Yeah.
And it was good to see the boys enjoying themselves. The White Kenyan boys.
Yeah.
That was a spectacular performance.
Yeah.
And seeing them singing the praise song.
Yeah.
Word
I
for
was
word
I
at
was
the
I
end
was
of it.
shocked. What?
Now you know what we've been missing by not including them in the national teams.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can see they're all
There's a sense
dedicated.
of unity.
They're all
that
dedicated
they have.
players, you see, and we've been talking about it now, and that's the beauty of having Coach Paul and on there, because they deal with these guys on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And they're able to bring those Kenyan players who are in the fringes, who are never seen playing in the usual secondary school games. Yeah.
I think you can tell that there's a culture that has been built in the short period of time that these boys have been together. And
And they've not been together for a long time.
yes, exactly.
No.
I mean, how they defended the line when Namibia were on the attack in the 5-year, that showed me that these boys, they're willing to put their bodies on the line to defend that line.
Yeah.
They're playing for their coach, but they're also playing for their nation. So I mean, I was very, very happy. I mean, all credits to their kicker, because he slotted in some very crucial penalties, and in fact, the penalty that won us the game. So in terms of basics, they have the right coaches in place, in Mike Ong, Andola as well, and
I mean, look at
Yes,
those
yes.
white boys dancing around.
It's really
they're African
exciting.
now.
No, they have been. You see, and we've had this problem that we've
Yeah.
not been able to integrate them into the squads
Yeah.
because they've not been playing in the Kenyan secondary schools
Yeah.
competitions, but they do play in other competitions that are equally strong.
Yeah.
So getting them integrated like this is marvelous.
And,
for us.
and as you can tell, typical of us Kenyans, we like to be associated with success. You can see
Yeah.
representation from the ministry.
Oh, yeah, of
Yes,
course.
yes,
Of
yes.
course, but of course, loving. Of course.
At least the speech was better than the guy who attended the boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a beautiful.
Well done to the PS.
Well done
Yeah.
to
That was-
Yeah.
the
that was-
lads.
Then let's actually listen to what both coaches as well as the PS had to say after this.
We don't take it for granted. I'd said it before the tournament. When Kenya play at home and the fans come out, we're a very difficult team to beat, regardless of who we are playing. And today these boys have proved it.
We create chances. We couldn't finish. There's a lot of points on the field left behind. So yeah, it's a matter of going back to the drawing board. This time we was not lucky, but all congratulations to Kenya. They beat us on the day. We will be back.
I'm very, very excited that they will have a chance to go to Brazil, to Rio, and represent Africa. But more than that, I think we've seen an excellent game from both sides. When you look at the Namibian kids, they have played very well. When you look at the Kenyan team, they won, and yes, they won because they played quite hard. But it is also a testament that going forward, we have some excellent rugby coming on out of Africa.
Yeah, the PS is happy.
I mean, he is very happy, and I
He's
think
happy.
I think for us, at least for the rugby union,
Yeah.
this is the time to take advantage of this excitement.
Yeah.
Because they've seen the potential that's in the team. So this is a perfect opportunity to re-establish those links
Yeah.
and just to maximize and take the game to the next level.
Yeah.
Because we've shown that it can be done.
Yeah.
And this is the right lot that will lead us to the next one.
And they will represent Africa in Brazil.
Yes,
Yes.
That's
it's
a
an
big thing.
exciting prospect
Yeah.
to know that our boys are going to be out there representing the continent, not
continent.
only,
Yes.
not only the
Yes.
country.
Yeah.
And as Lavian says, it probably is the best time to strike the iron while it's still hot. The union officials sit down with the government. Let's have a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got these kids who can be together for the longest of times. In fact, for me, I see another 8 good years of having these brilliant kids together and bringing them into world-class athletes.
Yeah.
And with the government, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
With the government support, we should be able to get the World Cup with this. squad.
What would be key in keeping the momentum with this?
Allowing this
young
lot
kids?
to be together for as long as we can. And like I said, these coaches are brilliant people, and they'll sacrifice their time. Give them the resources to be able to get these guys together every so often, and we'll be good.
Try get them more games, more international
More
games. I know
international
they're going
games.
to Brazil, but if you can try get them more games, more exposure, that's
Even after the Brazil one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even after the
Even
Brazil
after the
one.
Brazil
Just
one.
to keep the
Yeah, let them
momentum,
play in South Africa and
right.
go back to Namibia, play Zimbabwe, whatever it is. Take them to Europe.
Yeah.
Let them go for a few matches, and we've got the resource. We've got a national airline carrier which flies to most European destinations. They go to France. They go to major cities in Europe. So we can get these guys to play
Yeah.
a lot more games
Yeah.
than usually should.
And,
So I think with that planning
Yeah.
and
and backing from the
Yes.
government as well. Yeah.
no, there's no question.
Yeah.
Any team that does well, national teams that does well, the government has to give the backing.
Yeah.
And for me, it was foolhardy for our union to think that they can survive without the government. It is now
government's-
very clear
Yeah.
that with the government support,
Yeah.
we can get to places we've never been before.
At least the under 20 have covered, they've blinded our eyes from Hong Kong. Sevens.
Yeah. At least.
At least you are
Just
happy.
a bit.
Yes, yes.
But this weekend we are back on the
Panguza
spotlight.
machozi. Yeah.
No,
This weekend is Singapore.
I don't think it's a bit. It's
Yeah.
actually a big achievement that
Yeah.
we're going to play in
In
the Brazil.
Yeah.
Very
So-
big achievement.
Yeah.
And for these guys especially, out of there we'll see some 7 stars. There'll be transition
Yes.
Yeah.
between now and the next World Cup.
Yeah.
So you might see some brilliant players coming out of there playing the sevens, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
From
I,
this lot.
I am 100% that this lot are
Yeah.
a good lot that can make the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So unfortunately, we have to get out of here. our producers are chasing us away as usual. They want to go elsewhere. So
Yes,
Yeah.
that's elsewhere.
yeah,
It's very welcome.
yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Producer. Asante. we get the hint.
Yeah, the hint.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming. As usual, it's amazing having you here. And thank you so much for watching us. Until next week, have yourself a lovely time.